So anyway, welcome to Empty Nesting Part 2.
We just wanted to go back and visit this again because it's where we're at, and we think that there are a lot of things that are really great about this phase of life. So we want to make sure we highlight the positives and give
Because
you
there are a lot of positives.
so many. And then we want to give you guys, if you're struggling, like what's worked for us.
Yeah, how to embrace being an empty nester and to really enjoy it. So, first of all, I would say be spontaneous. It's super important. This is your time. You have no excuses. You're not having to worry about getting kids up the next morning or going to soccer games on the weekends or football games or gymnastics, whatever. Maybe it's all your time now. So take advantage of it. Be spontaneous. Do something at the last minute that you wouldn't typically do. And
yeah, I'm definitely the friend that everyone reaches out to if they are like they have a concert they want to go to last minute or they want someone to go with them away or whatever last minute. They're like, oh, Kara, she's my spontaneous friend. So like we get to be that person. Like a lot of my friends are a little bit older that have kids my age because I started young. So my friends my age or younger are in a different phase of life. So I'm just floating around with my friends that are in the same phase of life.
Well, and that's an important thing too because you are in different stages of life with your friends, and you and I are in the same stage. But with a lot of friends, a lot of friends may still have little kids, young kids, and so it may still be hard to work out schedules when your schedule is free every night, and they still have kid activities. So it's really important to stay connected with your friends that still have younger friends because it can be more difficult.
It is, it's harder. I definitely feel like my friends that have younger kids, I don't see them as often. We don't do as much together. But it's the other group of friends that like empty nesting, have some free time that are like, oh, she's my one. She's up for anything, even on a weeknight, right? Because we could go to concerts on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
who cares if it's a weeknight?
I know, it's okay.
Who cares if, we may not get our 8 hours of sleep? Take advantage of it. Be spontaneous. Yeah. And I think another important thing, too, is our kids get to see us differently now. They're not necessarily seeing us as their parent. They're seeing us as our own selves.
Yeah, my youngest, I remember he was home probably midway through freshman year. And he's like, it's so weird that, like, I never thought of you and my dad as, like, people. I always thought of you guys as, like, parents. And now it's like you're, like, just people. Sometimes, I know, again, like, I think my kids sometimes want to, like, maybe reel me in a bit. But they're definitely seeing a side of me where I'm like, they're like, oh, my mom's actually kind of funny. And, oh, she's not boring. She does have fun. And she just wasn't as
She's
fun
not always strict.
I'm not always strict.
She can be cool and laid back.
I know. So it is cool because we have had a lot of really, like, awesome, like, chill nights and good conversations. And they've seen me for me. And they've seen me, I think for me, too, getting a little vulnerable. Like, my boys, they know, like, mom's busy. I do my things. I try not to do my things when my kids are home. I think you guys also adjust. But I also, like, the minute I know they're doing something without me, I go back to my life. So they see me doing my thing. And they know, like, I'm okay. They know I cry when they leave, but they know I'm okay. I've got my yoga, my gym, my hiking, all my things. But I have to say that they have also seen me, like, crumble. They've seen me go through some really hard stuff. I've taken care of myself in a lot of, like, my health issues the past few years, and they've needed to, like, take me to the hospital or take me to a doctor appointment, and I would never ask my kids to do that before, and now it's like, not that I'm depending on them because I think we're the same, that we don't emotionally depend on our children, but
nor should you.
Right. They're seeing that, oh, mom's normal and she's hurt and she's not always strong and she's not always she doesn't always have her stuff together, and it's hard, I think, at first to be like, oh, my kids are seeing me not, like, maybe like in a weak place, but it gives them a different sense of respect for you. And that's when you shift from, like, parenting a child to parenting young adults, and how it's like a friendship that's growing. Right. And then,
because it's not really, you're still parenting, but it's not really parenting. I think you're advising, more mentoring and giving them advice and letting them figure things out on their own while you're still there cheering them on, but you're not telling them what to do.
Right.
You can, like I said, give them advice, but it's all up to them.
And mine have actually given me advice, whether it was asked for or not. And I love the fact that my first response was, is no matter how hard it was to hear what they had to say, don't ever stop talking to me like this and telling me how you feel and giving me advice. Like I want that to always be a thing. And it definitely shifted the past year or two of my life where my kids don't feel like they can't tell me if they disagree with a choice I make or that I should do something better. I mean, they've always told me like I should not wear certain things, but now it's more mature, like mutually.
Right. Yeah. This or conversation. And I think too, it's important once you're an empty nester. I try not to call my kids kids because they're adults now. So I especially noticed over the holidays when we had all 4 of the kids here. I'm like, oh, kids. And like, oh, wait, sorry. I didn't mean to say kids.
Yeah,
y'all are adults. You're young adults. But I think it's important for them to recognize that you see them as an adult now, even though they're still, figuring it out.
My oldest at parents' weekends last year, I took my mom down. That was a blast. My mom had a frat party at 62. He says to me, "Hey, Mom," really quietly, "can you just try not to call me babe?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know what to call you." And he's like, "Just call me Ty." I'm like,
"Call me by my name."
I know, and that's hard. Like, so with Chrissy's like not calling them kids. Like, I just want to call my kids babes or my babies or my, and I have to make a conscious effort to call them by their name. I do really good in public now. I think I slack a little bit at home, but we're figuring it out.
Yes. So, and you'll continue to figure it out. But some other ideas, if you're married, if you have a partner, whatever, get to know that person again.
Yeah.
Because you've been raising kids, doing all the kid activities. Get to know your spouse or your partner again. Take advantage of that. Date them again.
Yeah.
Have all these great date nights. Make it an intentional thing. Get back to your hobbies. What did you do before kids? Try to find that thing that made you happy and pick that up.
And like travel, if you have the opportunity to travel to visit people, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but there's a bucket list travel item or people you haven't seen in a while, like take advantage of it. I think we get in this rut where we're like comfortable just doing what we've always done. But if we do that as empty nesters, we're going to be sad and depressed. And I'm being a little dramatic when I say I can't handle it. I'm doing fine. I definitely
most of the time.
I fill up all my space most of the time. But yeah, travel. I mean, workouts. I really dive into the self-care. We spend so many years raising these humans that we sometimes neglect ourselves. So like if there's a medical situation that you put off, don't put it off anymore. Now is your time to take care of yourself. If that means taking a bath every night, do it.
Go get a massage. Go get a facial. Work out. Travel, it can just be a weekend getaway. It can be a staycation. Just something that's getting it out of your normal routine. Take advantage of visiting family that you may not get to see as often. Reconnecting with old friends.
I feel like we're a commercial. Learn a new language.
But take a trip. But it's true, or else you're really gonna struggle.
Yeah.
Check out new restaurants. Chris and I, we're big foodies. We love trying out new restaurants.
They do. They always know good places.
All the time. Concerts. Go see bands. There's a great app that Chris uses all the time called Bands in Town. And you can see who's playing when. And for us, it's a last minute thing most of the time.
I love live music. I love live music. I feel like sometimes they're way busier than I am. Sometimes I get so tired from being busy and peopling that I also will stay in on a Friday night and do nothing but just watch a funny movie by myself because that's what I need and what I want. And you're allowed to do whatever you want because no one's demanding your time. And it's pretty cool to do that too.
Stay up late, binge watch TV shows. There are so many things you can do. So just take advantage of it, embrace it, and really own empty nesting.
Find a new routine though. Whatever you do, I would try to stay in a routine because if you might get too lost if you're don't you think that staying in a routine is probably safe too, other than just going off?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person.
Yeah,
Chris and I, we're not always about routine,
right?
But most people like a routine, and there are a lot of things I do want to be in a routine.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that was empty nesting part 2. Good luck with it if that's where you're at in life.